my channel. My name is Penda. If you are tuned in today and you're like, sis, yes, the lips, the dimension, the contour, the bronzer, don't worry, I'm going to show you guys how you can go ahead and achieve this look as well. On top of the fact that this is just a bronzy, glowy look for darker skin, it is also heat and sweat proof. Now let me tell you this, and I'm going to tell you in the beginning of the video. If you are someone that sweats excessively, if you are someone that is plus size like me, you are still going to sweat when it is hot. However, I'm going to show you how to lay your base and your foundation so that when you pat your skin to try to get the sweat off or to try to get the whatever's going on off, your base will still be locked and set. So if you are interested, make sure you go ahead and keep on watching. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I know you're going to come back for more, okay? Let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started with this heat-proof, summer-proof, sweat-proof, F-boy-proof, all of that summer bronzy, chocolatey makeup look. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and moisturize my face with an SPF. So this is the Dermalogica Prisma Protect. I really like this moisturizer in particular for the fact that it does not leave a gray or purple cast on my face when I use it, whereas a lot of sunscreens that I have used in the past have definitely left me looking casket ready. Okay, and the way that I apply this, usually I put it on with my fingers. I try to be fancy today and put it on just as strips on my face, but then I just go ahead and moisturize it out. And the reason why you really want to wear sunscreen 24/7, not just in the summertime, one, because you want to protect your skin from the sun rays, but also because if you are someone that struggles with hyperpigmentation, if you are someone that struggles with discoloration, then wearing sunscreen and SPF specifically really does help with your skin. So that's one of the first things. Whenever someone asks me, oh, like how do I get rid of dark marks? How do I get rid of hyperpigmentation? I always tell them you need to use SPF and you need to use vitamin C. So that's one. I'm gonna let that sit in for a little bit. My brows are already done. I'm gonna tell y'all what's been changing my brow game crazy, and that is going to be this Benefit Cosmetics Give Me Brow Gel. Y'all, like honestly, my brows to me just look so much better than they did before because I'm able to use this to give it almost hair-like strokes as I apply my eyebrows or as I put on my eyebrows. One disclaimer that I do want to give as I go ahead and get ready is if you are someone that is plus size, if you are someone that is my size, a little smaller, but you thick, you big, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to be 1000% honest with you and tell you that you are going to sweat more, just because the bigger you are, the more you sweat based on the amount of energy that is being burned based on your activity. So I remember when I used to look up sweat-proof or heat-proof makeup, I used to think to myself, what can I put on to stop my makeup from dripping? And the conclusion I've come to as a woman that is plus size, that is bigger, is that there is nothing that I'm going to be able to do in my makeup routine that is going to stop me from sweating, period. I'm going to sweat. What I have learned to do is how to make sure my makeup still looks flawless even after I am sweating or even after I have sweat. So everything that I do for my base, if you are someone that does not sweat a lot, this will definitely help you with making sure that the foundation and your makeup stays intact. But more specifically, this will help you make sure that even if you pat off the sweat, your makeup and the base that you put on underneath still remains intact so that you don't end up walking out with all types of splotches and looking crazy. Alright, so I am back. I did go ahead and do my lashes, the little bit of eyeshadow that you guys saw me put on, but the main attraction when it comes to keeping your makeup on when it is hot, blazing, hip-hop and R&B outside is going to be the way that you start off with your base. Now for me personally, I am very like wary of doing the whole powder underneath the foundation thing. I'm gonna try it in the video coming up that you guys are gonna see, but for the most part when it comes to me, I just stick to my primers. But what I do is I layer my primers. I mix a bunch of them together for different purposes, and I'm going to show you the 3 that I'm going to use today. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this. Now if the Tatcha Still Canvas Primer is too expensive, honestly just keep going to Sephora. I don't know what's going on outside, but honestly just keep going to Sephora and getting samples, because I promise you with a lot of things, especially when I was starting out and I didn't really have a job when I was in college and I was buying makeup, I just got samples every other week. I need 3 samples please, and I got 3 samples of whatever it is that I really wanted. So I would definitely say go and get samples of the Tatcha Still Canvas Primer. They also have a mini version in Sephora as well that I believe is $20 or $22. but I will say that this one helps to keep my pores down, and it just makes whatever foundation I apply over it silky, silky, silky smooth. So that's really, really what I like about this primer in particular. So I'm gonna let that one sit in for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I apply the Becca Ever Matte Poreless whatever primer. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Becca Poreless whatever primer, and I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand, just a dot. If you are someone that struggles with very, very oily skin, like I've had people say, sis, like my skin is like grease, it's just super oily, then I would definitely say to try the Becca primer. Just know she doesn't play. Like the Becca primer is like, honestly, I don't even know what they put in here, but it literally sucks you dry to the point where you want to be careful using it because you don't want it to completely dry out your skin. And I'm gonna keep pushing this head wrap back because this is not the final style, okay? This is not me in my final form. This is just as we are getting ready. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my smile lines because, you know, when you happy, you smile different. So it's just like, I know that I want to prevent smile lines from coming, and one of the things that have helped me with preventing smile lines is definitely putting primer here. I also used to put eyeshadow primer, the Urban Decay one here as well. So whatever you want, and usually I go like this, but then so you just press that in. So once we have primed our face, we got that all out the way, we put on our SPF, we prime. The next step when it comes to just having a super flawless base when it is hot out that you don't want to sweat is honestly going to be the foundation that you use. So I am going to be using the Juvia's Place foundation. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a small dot. One thing I will say is that when it comes to your foundation lasting, to me in the summertime, less is more. Just because the more you have on, the more that's gonna come off. The less you have on, the better it is, just in my opinion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some dots first, and then I'm gonna blend out the dots, and then if I feel like I need more coverage, I'll add more, but I'm literally just dotting it in the areas where I feel like I have issues. So wherever I feel like I have hyperpigmentation, wherever my skin is not all the way one color, that is where I'm applying it. And then I'm gonna go back over if I need to apply more. So I'm gonna take this Morphe JH03 brush, but there's a few brushes like this. It's basically just like a dense brush. The first thing I'm going to do is wet it, just because I like wetting my brushes. And then one thing that you can do if you want your skin to look super glowy and have more of a natural look is use a liquid illuminator. So I actually go ahead and I'll use some of this, and I'll just dot it on. Other ways that you can use this is you can literally just mix it in with your foundation as well, so that it is all one kind of like concoction. But I'll just mix it onto my skin. And I am gonna go ahead and start blending. One thing that I do a little differently as well, I'm gonna take these earrings off because it's just not gonna work. One thing that I do as well is, instead of kind of swirling it around, I try to pat it in as much as I can first, and then I'll go back in and try to blend it up. But I feel like patting it, I don't know, I've just noticed the difference as far as how it sits onto my skin and how the makeup wears when you pat versus when you kind of tug and pull. And as you guys can see, even that little bit, the foundation is super full coverage. And I have a lot of foundations, but trust me when I say this is one of the few that when I put it on, just me personally, I noticed that my skin is just, it's set, honey. You got it, girl, you got it. What's your favorite summer anthem right now? I have a few. Brown Skin Girl, I've been in love with that one. I'm also feeling No Guidance, even though Chris Brown has no guidance clearly with the comments that he makes. I've been loving Toast by Coffee. That one especially has just spoken to my spirit, if I'm being real with y'all. I see my wig cap under this and my little baby edges. We're gonna put her back down. We're gonna put her back down. But yeah, I'm just getting everywhere. So I'm just gonna drag whatever is left down just so that there's no harsh lines, not necessarily applying so much foundation to my neck, but more so just blending it down so that there's no line of demarcation. And look at how much foundation I still have left. So I started off with a drop. I dipped it onto my face a little bit, and I still have this much left just because, like I said, when it's summer, you don't need to do too much. So because I have so much left over, I'm just gonna apply a little bit down here and kind of press it in. But on a regular summer day, I have not been doing this just because I honestly don't care to. It's too hot. It's way too hot. And I'm nervous to like get it on my clothes. I wear lighter clothes in the summer, so yeah. So next I'm gonna go in with the concealer, and this is the Makeup Revolution concealer in C16. You guys know I used to live for this concealer. I mean, it was my favorite. The concealer that I'm mixing on top of this one is the Fenty Beauty concealer, and this one is in the shade 450. This concealer was my favorite for a while too. And I like mixing the two just for the shades, honestly. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my contour too. For my contour, I'm gonna use the Pure 4-in-1 Selfie. This is like their mini one. The shades that come in this foundation are honestly some of the deepest shades that I've ever seen in any foundation, period. And I will be doing a video featuring their foundations for you guys, just so you can see how it looks on me, because I've heard that this is one of the best foundations that have come out. So I definitely do wanna play with it. I am going to go ahead and apply some in this area here just because we're trying to look a little more chiseled. So I'm going to get this area, and this definitely helps with the bronzy look as well. I just like the idea of like being contoured for the gods. And I'm going to apply some. There's really no point in me applying some on my forehead because I'm wearing a wig that covers it. But for the sake of this video, for the sake of being extra, we're going to do it. Am I going to be extra and put it on my nose? No. Let me calm down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet my beauty blender because I'm irresponsible and I didn't wet it before, and I'm gonna come back and show you guys how I blend all of this together to get the nice bronzy look, but also to make sure that it stays intact. Alright, so to blend out my foundation, I'm actually going to be using this Juno & Co. Micro Sponge. I hated this at first, especially the blue one. I forget which video it was, but there was a video I had where I truly hated this sponge, but I have grown to really like it because I've used it more, I've played around with it, and it actually does help with pushing your makeup in. And I think also because it is a micro sponge, or it's like the material of it doesn't soak up as much product, so you don't need to put as much on, but you can really press it in. So the first thing that I'm going to do that I think really helps with setting my makeup is going to be, I'm going to use a setting spray, the De-Slick, and I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with it just because I found that, I don't know, it just helps. Which is why the spray is almost done and it came out like that. Hold on. So I'm just pressing the product in. And what I've noticed is that I get more coverage from concealers with this sponge as well. So if that's something you care about, that's just like an added bonus with using this product. Because you end up saving money, you're using less. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with my under eye area. And I like to start at the bottom just because this is where I don't want the harsh line to be. With this product, I can kind of push it up, it's fine, but with the outer edge, that's where I put most of my strength, my force into, just because I don't ever want there to be a harsh line on the perimeter. So I'm going to start with the bottom edge of this one as well and just blend until I don't see a harsh line. And a tip that I learned, I think it was from Makeup Shayla like a few years ago, is to blend into your nose. I don't remember what I used to do before, but I feel like I used to stop it, but I kind of press the product onto the inside. And one thing that you'll notice, I don't ever contour my nose just because I don't feel like I need to. So whenever it comes to like, if I feel like there's too much highlighter here, honestly, it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna just keep it real, it doesn't bother me. So I'm blending out, being careful not to get any of that contour product on, and then I'm gonna start blending up into my under eye area. So once I have laid down the base for that, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna spray my face again. This time I'm gonna spray with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I shouldn't open my mouth. But once it's sprayed, now I'm gonna go back over it again and I'm just gonna blend in the under eye area. Just a little bit, just to make it melt into the skin. And I honestly feel like that's what has helped my makeup last in heat, is just the fact that it's basically pushed in, or it's settled into my skin so much that it's harder for it to kind of sweat off. But remember, I'm big, so I'm gonna sweat regardless, okay? Regardless, she's gonna sweat. But the goal is to make sure that when I do sweat and I wipe my face stays on and doesn't come all the way off. So now we're about to get into my favorite part, which is going to be blending out the contour. There's something about contouring that just gets me super, super excited. Maybe it's because it chisels and does all of that to your face. But for me, this is like one of my favorite parts. So I'm gonna get my contour brush and we're gonna get started. So when it comes to contouring, honestly, there's nothing that I would say you can do to keep it to stay on. So just blend it out. Alright, so now that I've kind of applied the contour, I'm going to push my headscarf back. As you guys can see, you see clearly, like it looks like a mask, or on top of a mask. Like you see the line of demarcation. Me personally, I like bringing my contour down. I just like the deep bronze chocolate look on my skin, and that's why I hate when people be like, oh, you're dark skin, you don't need to use the contour product, just reverse highlight. No, I want the deepness, I want the richness on the perimeters. So usually what I'll do is I'll take my brush and I will blend the edges just by pressing it in. Some people like to use their beauty blender, but for me personally, I like to use my foundation brush just because there's leftover products on it that is then going to essentially mix in with that contour to make everything look seamless. So me, personal preference, I like to use my brush. As you guys can see, you still see the deepness of the contour, but you don't see that harsh line. It's almost like it all kind of blends into one. So I'm just gonna press the edges everywhere, okay? The edges that I don't have on my head, I'm gonna press the edges of my face in between the makeup products. And I'm just gonna press the centers. And then you see everything kind of comes in together. You see dimension, but the goal is to not see where it starts, where it ends. You just see brightness on the center and then deepness, richness, darkness on the sides. And you can just keep blending until you feel like it's flawless. So the next important thing when it comes to your base and having it stay on and not really melt off is going to be the way that you set it. You have to set your under eye area, you have to set your face, you have to set it all, or else you are going to melt. Okay, you ever seen that? I'm melting. That's exactly what your face is gonna do and what your foundation is gonna do if you do not be careful with this step. So for me personally, I love the Fenty Beauty setting powder. Don't know why. I feel like it helps with my under eye bags as well, but I really do like this. But before I go in with the setting powder, I'm just gonna go back underneath my eye and press so that any fine lines are filled in by the time that I set it. And I'm gonna set them one eye at a time. Well done. I'm gonna dip into the powder, blow off any excess, and press. And then, me personally, I don't leave this here to bake. I literally press it all in until it is blended the way that I want. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Anywhere that I applied highlight, that is where I'm setting, and I'm going to press it in. I'm not just gonna apply it, I'm going to press. So I lay it on first, but then I go in immediately and start pressing it into the skin. Alright, so once the powder is pretty much on my face, and as you guys saw, I kind of pressed it into the areas, that is when my all over face setting powder comes in. And for that, the only all over face setting powder that I've been able to use for the past like year and a half, I pretty much use it in every single video. I've never used anything different for a while, is the Maybelline Fit Me the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and I use this in the shade Dark 40 or Deep 40. I put some on the cap, and then I just go ahead and I go into that. And I like to pretty much blend out my setting powder with this. Now usually I will go ahead and apply my bronzer, I'll apply my contour powder first, but for today, because I want it to be much more of a bronze look, I'm going to do this first and then I'll go on with the bronzer. So I just apply this everywhere, and I use this brush to blend out any excess powder that is on my face. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is my favorite part of this entire look is going to be to bronze. As you guys know, I love Prime Beauty's Chocolate Lady. So that is what I'm going to be using, and I actually have a code for you guys. So if you want 10% off of your purchases, you can go ahead and use code NATE10. I will link it on the screen. And you guys, if you're not new to this channel, you know this is literally the bronzer I've been wearing for such a long time. So I'm super excited to have a code with them. Yes, I do get commission from this code, so you get 10% off, and I believe I get a portion of that. So if you want to help me make coin, you can use it. If you don't want to help me make coin, that's okay. Still go ahead and pick up the Prime Beauty Chocolate Lady bronzer. So I'm just gonna go bronze crazy. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna put it on the perimeters of my face. I'm gonna put it everywhere, just because I really loved the bronze look and the dimension that this gives me. And it's still a little warm, so it's just, I don't know, it's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. And I'm gonna put this on all of those areas, and then I will of course blend it out with my powder and my powder brush afterwards, but I do like to just place it first and then go back out to blend everything together. And I went a little farther down than I would have liked. I usually like going far down, but that's real far. So I'm gonna fix that in a second. And if you guys notice, I'm not just like swiping up and down. I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm kind of doing this motion just faster. And that really helps with blending out the edges so that there's not one harsh line on your face. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in a little bit with that Maybelline Fit Me powder and just get any edges where I applied that bronzer, just so that there's no harsh lines again. So I'm pretty much done with my base. If I need to go back in over it or do anything else, I will definitely let you guys know. But for the most part, everything is on, everything is in place. And the last few steps are just going to be blush, highlighter, and then I'm going to do my lips. Now for this combination, for it to look super bronzy, there's certain products that I use that just adds a deepness to my skin, which is what I feel like bronzing does. It brings warmth, it brings richness. So I'm going to show you guys how I get that. But for my blush, I'm actually going to be trying out and using the Mented blushes. I'm not sure if you guys know, Mented Cosmetics did go ahead and come out with 3 or 4 new blushes. I have 3 here. One of them I did give away in a giveaway that I did on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I mean, sis, I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. I have nothing to say. But I did do major giveaways on Instagram based on a PR unboxing. So make sure you go ahead and follow me there. So I'm just going to take some of the blush, and the shade that I'm using today is going to be Buried Away. And I'm going to smile. And it adds like a flush, almost like a pink. Oh, I see it. It's coming up. Yes, pigment. So this is definitely buildable. And I feel like Mented in general as a brand, their whole theme is like your skin but better, like makeup. Without really makeup, it's like a nude kind of thing. So I don't expect their products to be crazily like pigmented off of first application. I expect to blend onto it because I know that they want you to have more of a natural look. But sometimes we're not natural, okay? I'm not always a natural girl. Sometimes I'm extra. Like today. Blush really does something for me. Now, just like with any step of my makeup, I do always go ahead and just blend out the edges, which I already did. Next, I'm going to apply my highlighter, and honestly, there is no better highlighter to make you look bronzy, glowy, keep your face on and beat other than the Becca Cosmetics Chocolate Geode Highlighter. This is the perfect highlighter for you if you are medium, dark. If you a brown girl, like this is the brown skin girl highlighter, okay? This highlighter is bomb. Bomb, bomb, bomb. If you don't have it, I promise you need to go get it just because it is so gorgeous. Like, okay, so for the glowy or the bronzy look, literally for my lips, I use like a bronzy lip color, and that is the MAC and Taraji P. Henson 2 lipstick. And as far as this shade name, I think it's just Taraji P. Henson 2. Look at this. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but this is literally a bronzy, glowy lipstick itself. It is so bomb. This is what the shade looks like. So it's like a brown, but then it also has like speckles of just golds and goodness. Then what I do is I take the MAC and Taraji P. Henson 2 lip gloss, which pretty much has like golds, and I go ahead and I put it on top. Look at that, y'all. And that just gives me a bronzy look. Now I'm gonna go put on my wig so you guys can see what it looks like when everything comes together. So I will be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below and let us know what are all your summertime skincare tips, your summertime foundation tips. What do you do different in the summertime with your makeup that you usually don't do in order to make sure that it stays locked and set in? I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye.